This is Jeb Blunt, and it's Money Monday on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
Say make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money, make money, money, money. Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound.
All right. It's Monday, and the brutal truth is that how you start your week is usually how you end your week. And that's what Money Monday is all about, is helping you get focused, energized, and start your sales week strong. We just finished the very first full week of the new year, and I'm already hearing sob stories from leaders and individuals everywhere who are waking up to the cold, hard truth that they are staring down the barrel of a thin or empty pipeline. If you're in the situation and don't have enough pipe to cover your number either for this month or for the first quarter, then you need to take action now to close that gap, because getting behind your number at the beginning of the year means loads of stress and chasing your tail for the rest of the quarter or the entire year if you get too far behind. Now, stepping back for a moment, the reason your pipeline is empty today can usually be traced back to your sales activity in November and December. Some teams get tunnel vision in the fourth quarter. They focus on closing deals and finishing the year strong, but fail to balance that with prospecting activity for the future. Other folks just get distracted by the holidays and let the final weeks of the year slip by without doing enough prospecting to fill up the pipe with opportunities that will cover January. And in other cases, the pipeline opportunities that you were counting on for this month, and you know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that pushed off their decisions until after the holidays, well, they've suddenly gone silent and they're ghosting you. You're finding out the hard way that it is very, very difficult to reignite and reinvigorate those deals once you've allowed this much time to pass. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, because the truth is the truth. No matter what it is that got you to this point, you need to get to work right now to turn it around. So the question is, how do you do it? Well, one of the biggest pitfalls I see when pipelines are empty is that salespeople get overwhelmed and paralyzed. They don't know where to begin or what to do, so they waste time worrying and getting organized. They plan to prospect, but they don't actually get any prospecting done. There's an old saying that goes, when you're in a hole, stop digging. And likewise, the very first rule of an empty pipeline is when you have one, start prospecting. That's it. There's really no magic to it. It's kind of a blinding flash of common sense. Therefore, step one is to block 1 to 2 hours at the start of your day before you do anything else specifically for prospecting. Close your email and company chat, put devices on Do Not Disturb, and place a singular focus on picking up the phone and calling potential customers. You also want to put those morning blocks on your calendar as an immovable meeting. No excuses, no last minute changes, nobody puts a meeting on top of it, and you keep the time sacred for outbound prospecting. Why first thing in the morning? Well, because that's when you're fresh, your prospects are fresh, and neither of you have gotten buried in your day yet. And the truth is, if you put off prospecting until the afternoon, your willpower will be depleted and you're more likely not to do it. Now, next, you need to focus on the right kind of prospecting. This is not the time for a slow, meandering approach in which you cultivate long-term opportunities on LinkedIn and through networking. While building the future through slow prospecting activities is important, right now, you need to move fast. You need to target, engage, interrupt, and convert prospects that can move into your pipeline as viable opportunities right now. By interrupt, I mean dialing the phone, knocking on doors, sending personalized emails, text messages, video messages, and direct messages. Send smoke signals, whatever it takes to get attention and engage in conversations with high potential and high probability prospects. And when I say target, I mean not random. Randomness is the enemy of effectiveness. At this moment in time, spray and pray will not turn your pipeline around. You need a rifle rather than a shotgun approach. The key is building a good targeted list, because the better your list, the better your prospecting outcomes. And whenever I'm in a situation like this, I look to 5 sources for building a targeted prospecting list and doing it fast. Start with inbound leads. Take a look at the inbound leads that came in over the last quarter or maybe the last 6 months. These are folks who have already expressed some level of interest in what you offer. Maybe they downloaded a white paper or attended a webinar or even reached out directly. Now, they might have ghosted you or gone quiet around the holidays, or perhaps you were so busy that you didn't follow up as aggressively as you should have. Regardless, inbound leads are an easy list to build And there's a good chance that you can reactivate some of these leads now that we're in a new year. The next source for your prospecting list are closed lost deals. You want to take a look at all the pipeline opportunities that were lost over the past year. Pull your own out of the CRM, plus those of any reps that have left your company. Now, you may need to ask your sales leader for permission to do this, but you want to ask because it's surprising how much gold you can find in deals that other people have lost. It's also amazing how many of those prospects didn't end up choosing any solution at all, and they're still living with the same old problems. But because it's a brand new year, they may be open to exploring solutions. The third source for building your prospecting list are inactive customers. These are people who bought from you or your company in the past, but haven't purchased in a while. They're already familiar with your brand, product, software, or service, and they're easy to talk with. The conversation may be as simple as calling and asking, when are you going to make your next purchase? Or what's new on your end since we last worked together? Because there's already a relationship, it's not really a cold call. It's more like a warm reintroduction. The fourth source for your prospecting list are active customers. You want to target existing customers where there may be an expansion or cross-sell opportunity. This is a list you'll want to build thoughtfully so that you target the right high potential accounts. But because you're already doing business with these people, the conversations are easy to initiate. Just call, say Happy New Year, ask about their upcoming plans, and learn about potential needs that you can fill right now. And the final source for your list are prospects with a Q1 buying window. To find these prospects, just go into your CRM and run a search for prospects that meet your ICP and have an identified Q1 buying window. This buying window may be a contract expiring with your competitor, a seasonal swing in demand, equipment coming off lease, or they told you on past prospecting calls that they would be making changes or decisions in the first quarter. You may also want to look at industry verticals that are doing really well right now and are flush with budget. Any and all of these sources will help you build a robust prospecting list that you can use right now. But when you're in a hole like this, digging out can be both overwhelming and tedious. You're going to be doing a lot of work and it won't always feel like you're getting anywhere. And this can be demotivating and make you want to quit. Therefore, to stay on track, set micro goals, like a certain number of calls or touches, conversations, or qualifying information that you want to achieve every day. Now, track your results religiously and celebrate even the smallest wins. For example, if you get a bad number, celebrate the fact that you now know not to call that number. At the same time, use your micro goals to hold yourself accountable. If your goal is to make 25 calls, don't let yourself off the hook at 20. This level of discipline and celebrating small wins helps keep your momentum going. The 30-day rule states that the prospecting you do in any given 30-day period will pay off over the next 90 days. This is about having faith that the prospecting that you're doing right now will pay dividends in the weeks and months to come. You won't see miracles overnight, but if you stay consistent, you will get the results that you're looking for. Now, before moving on, I want you to stop and remember how this feels. Lock this stress and anxiety into your emotional memory. Then make a commitment not to allow this to happen to you again next year because it's completely avoidable. Later this year, as we move into the fourth quarter, remember that you must keep prospecting even while you're trying to close deals. And I'll be here later this year to remind you of this, but let's be honest, this is going to stick a lot better if you internalize the pain right now while it's fresh. So, here's your homework and action steps for this week. First, stop digging. If your pipeline is empty, don't waste time worrying, accept the reality, and get to work fixing it. Second, block time for prospecting. Schedule and keep sacred 1 to 2 hours each morning for focused prospecting when your energy is at its highest. Next, build targeted lists. Start with inbound leads, close lost deals, inactive customers, active customers, and high probability prospects that are in a Q1 buying window. Then set micro goals and embrace the 30-day rule. Focus on these small daily goals and have faith that the hard work you put in now will pay off in the future, even if at times it feels like you're spinning your wheels. And finally, remember the pain. Go look in the mirror, take time and think about it, and promise yourself that you won't fall into the same trap at the end of this year. As we come to the end of this Money Money episode, I'm going to leave you with this. Embrace and make prospecting a daily discipline, because the number one reason for failure in sales is an empty pipeline. And the number one reason you will have an empty pipeline in the future is that you failed to prospect every day, every day, every day. Prospecting is a daily discipline. It's not something you do when you feel like it or only when your pipeline is on life support. It's like working out. You don't go to the gym once, get in shape, and then you're done. You have to keep going, keep working at it, and keep putting in the reps. Now, before I sign off, I want to give a quick shout out to Zach Mofield, who wrote a 5-star review for us on the Apple Podcast app. He says that listening to Sales Gravy is like having a personal sales coach in your pocket. Thank you, Zach. You're awesome. I really appreciate it. If you like this podcast, if you're getting value from it, then please do me a favor. Just go to your podcast app and give the Sales Gravy podcast a 5-star rating. It literally takes less than 3 seconds to do this on apps like Spotify and Apple. And your small effort makes a massive impact on moving us up in search, which helps other sales pros and leaders discover it. I'll be truly grateful if you'll just take a second now and help us out with your own 5-star rating or review. This is Jeb Blount, and I'll see you next time on the Sales Gravy podcast. And remember, when it's time to go home, always make one more call.
Survival of the fittest, you can sink or swim. I've been broke, I ain't never going back again. I need some C-notes, some cheddar, and a stack of ends. I need a bowl of dough, I don't need no Facebook friends. I need a pack of them snaps, a handful of Fetty Wops, and rubber band on my greenbacks. Look, dawg, don't be playing with my paper. I need every red cent, that's why I brought my little scraper. Money, 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 money.